I want to play a game. While browsing Reddit, I stumbled upon this site. It utilizes OpenAI's GPT-3 text generator. If GPT-3 is new to you, I'll leave a link with a good explanation in the description below. According to the site's creator, Murat Eifer, it's an experiment in prompt engineering. Check it out. I find it absolutely incredible. You give the AI a prompt, and it writes the rest. I'm going to give the AI 3 prompts to write about, and I'm going to write about another. Then I want you to tell me which one I wrote and which ones the GPT-3 text generator wrote. Here's a hint. GPT-3 is not perfect, but man is it ever good. I'll leave timestamps in the description below so you can quickly jump from one prompt to another, and you don't have to listen to the entirety of each section if you don't want to. Before we play our game though, I want to thank everyone who has subscribed, and if you haven't already, please do so. I am actively growing this channel and I would love for you to be part of the conversation. Here's the first prompt. Life is a simulation. Given the fact that we as humans are capable of developing simulations, it is highly likely that our lives are actually just a simulation. The most popular argument against this is the simulation argument. This theory was developed by Nick Bostrom and points out several things. 1. There could be an advanced civilization in the future who would have technology to simulate entire universes. I'm talking about a true simulated universe here. These civilizations may not exist yet, but they will eventually develop their own technology to such an extent where they can create these kinds of programs. And once they do, why not use them? It's really no different from us using computers today for games or movies. 2. The number of human-level civilizations, post-human, ones being even more advanced than human, at any given time will probably be relatively small compared to all total civilizations in history and far into the future. 3. If there were many post-humans running lots of such simulations, then statistically speaking, some might run for sufficiently long periods so that it seems like life has only existed for billions of years instead of billions. 4. Therefore, it seems very plausible that we're living in one right now. Now, the above argument is not conclusive, and there are several strong counterarguments that have been put forth as well. 1. Even if we assume for sake of argument that simulated universes could be created, we can't possibly know whether any particular universe, ours included, is one. 2. It is highly unlikely that people in the future would actually simulate our past. It's much more likely they'd focus on simulations of their own present or some other point in history. 3. So even if we're living in a simulation, it doesn't mean that the simulators have to be humans. They could be aliens or future versions of humanity, or other sentient species, and they could very well live far beyond our current level of technology. Or maybe the universe is just running itself as part of some cosmic law. 4. Of course, it is also possible that there are no simulators at all, and we're just living in a universe without a purpose. But the fact that we can conceive of such things means that our minds are able to transcend concepts like time and space, which I think proves there's something more out there than what we see. Here is the second prompt. Life is like a box of chocolates. The phrase, "life was like a box of chocolates," is from the hit movie Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump is a 1994 American comedy drama film directed by Robert Zemeckis and written by Eric Roth. It's based on the 1986 novel of the same name by Winston Groom. This quote is commonly misquoted as, "Life is like a box of chocolates." Many people remember the quote as such and are surprised when they hear it again and the word is actually was. This discrepancy has been attributed to a phenomenon commonly referred to as the Mandela effect. Many people believe that the Mandela effect is an example of alternate universes colliding with our own, but the truth is much more mundane. Sociologists believe the Mandela effect is a result of either collective false memories, confabulation, or both. Collective false memories refers to a shared pool of memories, knowledge, and information of a social group. If a falsehood is added to this pool of memories, it will be repeated until it is believed to be true. Confabulation is how humans fill in gaps in one's memory. It can be defined as a problem that makes someone produce false memories about events or the false memories themselves. Here's the third prompt. Death is an illusion. Death is not an illusion. It simply does not exist, at least in the same way humans understand it to be currently. We can see things die all around us every day, and we know that they are dead when we cannot see them anymore. Is this what death is? No, it isn't. Death only exists in a relative sense. Consider what happens when an object comes in contact with another. If we have two objects of equal mass and size, they will not necessarily be destroyed just because they collide. If the two objects have different masses, then it is possible that more energy would be transferred to the object with a lesser mass. This means that this subatomic particle will leave orbit around its parent atom and travel off into space, where it will still exist in some form or another. We see something similar happen with planets. When two planets collide, the force of their collision can cause one planet to leave orbit and travel off into space. If the planets have equal mass, then they are likely to remain in orbit around their common center of gravity. This is why a planet will typically stay in orbit around another star for billions of years. We can also observe the universe as a whole, where there is a supermassive black hole at its center. The stars and planets in our solar system are orbiting around this gigantic space object. Here is the fourth and final prompt. Aliens visit Earth. We've all heard the story of aliens coming to Earth and challenging us humans, the ultimate invasion. And yet, despite this film theme, we are still waiting on that moment. How many aliens have invaded Earth? How many races of beings are out there who have the capability to travel across the vast distances between stars? Here is a short list of the races that have invaded Earth: the Greys, Martians, aliens from Area 51, and those who are called high aliens or extraterrestrials. There are also the beings who have contacted certain humans, and then there is the Anunnaki legend. And of course there are the gods, angels, and demons. All these races have supposedly visited Earth at one time or another. There are also beings who have lived on Earth for a long time, and yet many of them may not be human-like. They could look like fish, or be insectoid in nature. Thanks for listening, or rather playing. Let me know in the comments below which section you believe was written by a lowly human, and which section was written by the GPT-3 text generator. I'll be updating the description in the near future with the answer, and if you can find me on Reddit or in the Twitterverse, I'll be posting the answer there as well. Thanks again for listening. Take care.